Hi there, my name's Dana, and this doesn't really look like me, but it's close enough for these purposes. It doesn't really sound like me either because I have a cold right now, so I'm sorry and I hope you can understand me. I live in Victoria, BC, and I'm a research coordinator in the general realm of healthcare, which means that I help researchers organize and run their projects, which can sometimes feel a little bit like herding cats, as the saying goes. Surprisingly, design actually features pretty prominently into a lot of the work that we do. I'll tell you about one recent project. This one was funded by Genome BC and focused on a type of stroke called transient ischemic attacks, or TIAs. It's a little brief stroke, basically, a mini stroke as they call them. We're searching for proteins that are released into the blood after one of these TIAs that can help diagnose it. The problem is that because they're so short-lived, they're very difficult to accurately diagnose. The other problem is that medical professionals receive very little training about stroke and TIA, so the level of knowledge is really variable among doctors and nurses depending on their experience and where they've worked in the past. Part of our project was to create an electronic decision support tool for doctors and nurses that would incorporate clinical features of stroke and TIA and eventually pair those with the results of this protein test so that we can help them to diagnose these patients and properly triage them when they're in the emergency departments. And also to increase both doctors and nurses' knowledge of TIA at the same time. So we interviewed doctors and nurses to find out how their current workflow looks and what things they consider necessary in the tool. Then we designed a few options and tested them with them using test cases, which we call usability testing. This was really fun and really rewarding because everyone was super thrilled to be involved in the design process. This was the first time they had actually been asked their opinion on something that they would later have to use in their work. Before this, I didn't realize how complicated design work is. Not only do we have to have the content at the base of our tool perfect, we also have to consider the user interface engineering, how the tool will be accessed by the users, the graphic design, the interactive design, so how they use the tool, and also the information architecture, so the databases behind it and how it stores the information coming in. And then one that's turning out to be way more important than I ever expected, which is semiotics. So this boils down to the choice of words that we use in the tool. And so for us, it's not just about instructions, but it's also about the medical terminology that goes into it and what that means to certain people that means different things to other people depending on their role. And of course, being a grant-funded project, this grant was created without ever budgeting for a design professional to actually create this project. So we're all just kind of winging it. So that's an overview. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.